How much can you steal or use from another author's work under the fair use doctrine of U.S. copyright law? That is something that comes up every time I'm talking to potential authors or would-be authors or authors who are writing a second or third book. Something that's come up with my second book, and I probably should have looked at for my first book. Now, I recorded this earlier, decided not to use it because I went to the Chicago Manual of Style to look at what they had to say about fair use doctrine. Chicago Manual of Style is a very important book, style book for people who are writing books. But I decided not to use it because I didn't want to be stealing from Chicago Manual of Style and be accused of not doing fair use to their copyrighted work. So I went to the copyright section of the U.S. government, U.S. Copyright Office, because government papers are not generally subject to copyright law. So I can steal and use their works without abandon. So let's get right into it then. Section 107 of the Copyright Act provides a statutory framework for determining whether something is fair use and identifies certain types of uses such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research as examples of activities that may be qualified as fair use. There are 4 factors in evaluating a question of fair use. These are used by the courts. First one is purpose and character of the use, including whether the use is of a commercial nature or is for profit educational purposes. Now, if it's for nonprofit educational purposes, you can generally get away with taking more from somebody else's work. That does not mean, however, that all nonprofit, non-commercial uses are fair, and all commercial uses are not fair. Additionally, transformative uses are more likely to be considered fair. Transformative uses are those that add something new with a further purpose or a different character and do not substitute for the original use of the work. Second is nature of the copyrighted work. Using more creative or imaginative works such as a novel, movie, or song is less likely to support a claim of fair use than using a factual work. In addition, use of an unpublished work is less likely to be considered fair. Third factor courts will consider is the amount and substantiality portion used in relation to the copyrighted work as a whole. In other words, don't use the entire chapter or blog or whatever it is. Fair use is the use employs only a small amount of copyrighted material. Fair use is more likely. That said, some courts have found use of entire work to be fair under certain circumstances. In other contexts, even using a small amount of copyrighted work was determined not to be fair because the selection was an important part or the heart of the work. And the fourth item the course look at is the effect of the use upon the potential market for or the value of the copyrighted work. Here the court reviews whether and to what extent unlicensed use harms the existence or future market for the copyright owner's original work. And this is an important paragraph or sentences. Courts evaluate fair use claims on a case-by-case basis. The outcome of any given case depends on a fact-specific inquiry. That means there is no formula to ensure that a predetermined percentage or amount of a work or a specific number of words, lines, pages, copies may be used without permission. And there's one other thing that I want you to look at. Fair use is a judge-created doctrine dating back to the 19th century and codified in the 1976 Copyright Act. But the fact patterns and the legal applications have evolved over the years, and you should seek legal assistance as necessary and appropriate. Consult an attorney if you're going to use works from other people to buttress your points. Hope that helps you understand a little bit about fair use doctrine. Basically, there's 4 angles you have to look at because that's what the courts look at. And even then, you should probably consult an attorney. If you're working with a publisher, good. If not, seek an attorney who knows about copyright law and fair doctrine and run it by them. That's it for now. Till tomorrow. Bye.